All right, YouTube, we are recording. James, hold on a second. We'll do some audio and then get ready for the podcast.
You're listening to the Back Home Network, presented by Homefield Apparel.
All right, folks, welcome back. Scott here with you. Another episode of Crimson Cash. This is the first one we're putting up on YouTube, and we'll get them all up on there from now on. So if you're not watching, you should check it out. We're going to start having some fun with some graphics and sounds on YouTube. You can still listen to it on whatever podcast feed you're listening to. Before we get to James, just a couple of quick reminders about some of our friends at, first off, Homefield Apparel. You can see them here. You see the pullovers they have. They got Cincinnati, Duke, Illinois. They got tons of them. There's the Indiana one. You see it on YouTube. It's hot. It's got the oval on the sleeve. Check them out. Use the promo code HOME23 for 15% off your first purchase. And Upland Brewing Company, the promoter, the makers of the Hoosier Game Day Lager. There's that can. Indiana script on top. The stars for the soccer on the bottom. Candy stripes across the top and bottom. It's not only a cool looking can, it tastes good. It's a good, nice, kind of smooth, golden lager. Had one last weekend. I'll be having one this weekend as well. It's good stuff. So check them out at Hoosier Game Day Lager. That's Upland Brewing Company. They remind you to drink responsibly and go Hoosiers. All right, James. What is up, man? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
You look great. You're wearing your IU gear. We're in your basement. This is fantastic.
CrimsonCASH Central up here. So, yeah, things are great.
Yeah. It's our first week without IU to bet on.
Yeah. And they've been doing great for us. So, but don't worry, we'll make up for it this week. We had a great week last week.
Back to back. Hoosier Hotstreak won again. So we are now back-to-back weeks. I think because we're doing this all kind of on the fly, I think that we take this week off on the hot streak. So I have a ticker for the hot streak. You can see Hoosier Hotstreak in the future. If you're watching this on YouTube, we're going to put the picks down here on the bottom. But this week we don't have a Hoosier game to pick. So you're going to still do, we'll call it a hot streak. What we're going to call it? Hold on. I have it here.
You asked for it.
You asked for it. You have somebody who asked for something specific. So we're going to have an off week choice. Do you have any thoughts on, we're not going to be able to talk about IU because there's no games to pick from. Do you have any thoughts on them going 6-0 and what you saw against Northwestern?
Well, we already paid out on our over-under bet for the season.
I know.
We got plus odds on that. So that was fantastic. And FanDuel's not making me wait till the end of the season. They've already paid that out. So that's
nice.
Yeah. So really good news there. I took some of the winnings from that, and you'll never believe where I put it. Zach Edey, Rookie of the Year.
I love that bet. Actually, I like that bet.
Yeah, so we put we're going to have to wait a while on that one. But it's always nice to have some futures bets in reserve when you've won, especially something like that where I think you're getting really good odds.
Nice. Good job on that. I have a friend in Bloomington who is friends with some media members and says there was either a press conference, someone with Signetti was talking to some press, and one of the media members is like, your team looks pretty good. You guys are not too bad. And Signetti's like, yeah. And he's like, all right, we off the record? He's like, we're off the record. And Signetti's like, we're really effing good. Just like we are really effing good. I love the confidence that he has, and it's really cool being like, dude, that's our guy. Like, we got a guy who has quiet confidence. It's great.
Of the 10 Big Ten games where a team has gone cross country so far in the conference, teams are 1-9 on the road. That one win was IU at UCLA. So
we own the Rose Bowl.
We own the Big Ten right now. Look at that. Look at that leaderboard. First place, baby.
I know. All right. And I just got an email that the Nebraska game is sold out.
That's
so there you go. I'll get the ticket numbers for the rest of the week here in a second, but we'll start looking at some picks. The Northwestern Wildcats going to Maryland to play the Terrapins. Maybe I need a turtle sound. I don't know. I'm not sure what we're doing for Maryland yet, but Maryland is an 11
football, baby.
Yeah, an 11-point favorite at home.
Northwestern looked kind of plucky. I like that quarterback of theirs. He's
he can move.
He can move, and I think Maryland's going to have a tough time with that on defense. I think Maryland will be able to move the ball on them. The over-under on this, I was tempted to look at the over, but just give me Northwestern in those points. I think that's too many points.
Okay. Next up, you have Wisconsin, and Wisconsin is going to Rutgers.
I gotta warn you, Clark. They don't play the same games here that they do at them regular casinos.
I loaded the wrong sound. Oh gosh, it wouldn't be CrimsonCASH if I didn't screw things up. I thought I had the Sopranos.
It wouldn't be Scott if he didn't screw things up.
Yeah, dang it! I thought I had the Sopranos. I got a label, buddy. All right, well, Wisconsin's going to Rutgers.
You need to make sure I'm going to pick Rutgers before that, right? You know,
no. It's for the home team. It's just because they're going to Rutgers. We're playing the home team sound. Anyway, Wisconsin is a 2.5 point under. Whoa! I'm looking at this for the first time. Obviously, Rutgers is a 2.5 point favorite at home. Wow.
Yeah, this one. I don't know what to do with this. This is going to be a good game. Very fun to watch, I think. If I had to, of course, I have to pick here. I'm going to take Rutgers at home.
Okay. Money line or cover 2.5? Oh, he got so excited. He cut out. James. Oh, there you go. You're back.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. Some asshole.
That was like the end of Sopranos. You just went dark.
Cue the journey. No, I don't know what to do here. I don't like this. I don't like it at all. I'd take him on the money line. But I could be talked into Wisconsin on the money line. I don't know what to make of Wisconsin after last week. Because they beat the hell out of a shitty football team. And Rutgers really stymied Nebraska's offense, but they couldn't get anything moving themselves. I think this is probably like a 17-14 type deal, maybe a 16-14, something like that. So that's why I don't like that 2.5. If you're going to do it, maybe toss Rutgers on a money line.
Okay, so your pick is Rutgers money line?
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, we have Washington coming east, or Middle East, going to Iowa. Iowa is a lot of twos and hooks. Iowa is a 2.5 point favorite at home.
I can't imagine Seattle to Iowa City is any longer than like Seattle to Tucson. Like it doesn't seem like that much of a longer flight to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But I like Iowa here. Washington, I love Iowa here. Let's put it that. This is my favorite Big Ten game of the week. I think Iowa's definitely going to cover this. Washington is coming off a huge win against Michigan. Teams traveling, as I've mentioned earlier, even though this isn't as much travel, have not been doing well so far in conference. And Iowa has statistically one of the best, if not the best, rushing attacks in the country. And Washington has shown themselves to be a little suspect to the run. I think this is a classic Iowa low-scoring affair, but I think they control the ball and are able to win by a field goal or more. So I love the Hawkeyes here.
Okay. Next up, two teams that I feel like are in the same ilk. You have Penn State and USC, both kind of like not the best in the Big Ten, not the worst, but always kind of like pretenders to the throne. But you have Penn State going out to LA to play USC. USC is a 4.5 point underdog at home.
I like the over-under on this game. So why don't we give that number out,
50.5.
I like the over.
Okay.
I think
lots of points.
It's a lot of points.
No faith in the Tom Allen coach defense of Penn State?
That's what it is, man. Yeah. I don't think USC is going to be able to easily stop the Penn State rush attack either. So I think that Penn State will be able to get their points, and I think USC is going to get their points. And this number just seems a little low for me. So I don't like the spread either way on this. If I had to take the spread, I'd probably take USC plus the points, but I like the over better.
Next up is a game I'm going to ask two questions about. I want to know your take, but also I have a further long-term question about. So we have Purdue at Illinois. Illinois is a 23-point favorite at home against Purdue. Purdue's not good. This line reflects it because it's not like Illinois for a mid to mid-high team in the Big Ten to be getting 23 at home is wild. My other question is I want you to pick the game, but then we need to discuss what could the line for the bucket game be? And can Indiana beat a 23-point line against, will Indiana be able to get favored by 28 against Purdue when that game comes? Anyway, I leave you with that. A couple ways to go. Give us your thoughts on the game, and then IU Purdue future points possibilities for the bucket.
All right, so you're right. You're absolutely right. This is a huge line on a conference game, and I hate huge lines on conference games, right?
And Ohio State and like Oregon are not involved.
Correct. And I almost always say take the points, right?
Right.
When the head coach admits his team is lousy,
Yeah.
maybe it's time to give some points. Another side note, do a little further digging on this. Do you know what happened last year when Purdue played Illinois?
I don't remember.
Purdue boat raced them 44-19.
Okay.
Do you know who the coach at Illinois? Who was the coach at Illinois?
Oh, you're right. It's
that big old fat Brett Bielema. There's
Yeah.
nothing he loves more than running up the score. And I guarantee he has a grudge. And his former defensive guru is now the coach at Purdue, right?
Yep.
So I think he wants to go, and I think he's going to put a beat down on the boiler. And I don't think there's anything to do about it. The over-under on this game, Illinois may hit themselves.
48.5.
Oh, easily they could hit that themselves. I think they could put up 49 points in this game because I think they're going to be have a desire to do so.
So what do you think about our line against Purdue? Are we going to be favored by more than 23?
It's going to depend on some factors. All right. If we are undefeated going into that game,
then we beat Ohio State. Like we could be ranked number 1 in the country.
Exactly. And then we'll be over a 23.5 point favorite.
I think
there's one scenario where that happens. Okay.
If we're 11-1, I think we're a 27-point favorite.
If we are 10-1 going into that game,
Sorry,
my guess would be 27.5.
Yeah.
Now, unless Purdue finds some magic between here and there.
Even 9-2, if we put up a game against Michigan and it's really close, and then we don't get completely annihilated Ohio State, I think we could be a higher line than this. Because theoretically, we'd probably still be ranked above where Illinois is right now.
That is true. But you also have to remember they do price some of that into rivalry games.
Okay, yeah.
So on a rivalry game, you might not get as big of odds just because some of that is priced in.
So here's a game that's calling out to you and saying, James, how dare you say this is not the game of the week in the Big Ten? Ohio State at Oregon. Ohio State is a 3.5-point favorite going in to Oregon. What are your thoughts?
What did I say was the game of the week? Rutgers.
Yeah, Wisconsin and Rutgers. Was it? No, it was Washington, Iowa. Washington, Iowa is the game.
No, that's my pick of the week. That's the game I love. I can't. I'm putting money on that one. I love that bet. All right. So back to Ohio State, Oregon. What's the line? What line do we have right now?
I show Oregon as a 3.5-point underdog at home.
Okay. I think Ohio State wins this game. I think Oregon covers.
Okay. Oh, you're going right up the middle, like right.
I think 3-point game. I think these teams are super close. If I'm taking things, I'm going to take those 3.5 points because you get 3.5 points and Oregon winning. So that, and they're the home team. They're not trash. I'm very curious to see how their rush attack holds up against Ohio State's defense, who to me is the best defense I've seen all season. Their defense is stout.
Yes.
So, and they're going to put pressure on you too, because they're going to score. And I think Oregon will give up some points to them. So I think this is going to be kind of maybe a higher scoring game. But I 3.5 points. I don't know. These teams are pretty evenly matched talent wise. And then so it comes down to coaching. I don't think either coaches are, Belichick. So we'll probably see something where it's a field goal somewhere here and there. And, this is a late afternoon game at Austin State. Yeah. So the crowd's going to be fired up. Game day is going to be there, I'm guessing.
I don't know where.
No, they'll probably be at Texas, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Somebody will be there. Big noon kickoff. Somebody's going to be, I'm sure, because this is 2 top 6 teams. So this is going to be a fun game to watch.
All right, last one. Are they going to break?
I got one more note on that.
Yeah.
I hope Ohio State just wears their normal damn uniforms. Leave the wacky shit for Oregon. Ohio State, that's scarlet and gray.
Yeah.
It's a good look. It's a really good. I don't go fucking around with it.
That said, they're probably going to wear black.
Ugh. Well, I don't know. Or Oregon will wear something stupid, so they probably can wear any color that's not like fuchsia or,
Yeah.
white or yellow.
Last one. Are they going to break the streak of teams going west? It's Minnesota going to UCLA, another team that could be hot garbage. UCLA is a 4-point underdog at home against Minnesota.
Last I checked on this, the over-under was at 40.5.
It went down to 39.5.
Excellent. Take the over, people. Take the over situation. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think Minnesota will be able to move the ball on them because everybody has moved the ball on UCLA, right? And UCLA is scrappy enough to get a few points of their own against Minnesota's defense. I think this will be a lot like the USC-Minnesota game, quite honestly. But I think Minnesota will score more. I think Minnesota probably covers. So if you're looking at the spread on this one, I think the Gophers probably do cover that. And if you're going to toss it in a teaser, I do love the Gophers in a teaser here.
Speaking of teasers, we're not going to be able to do the Hoosier Hotstreak because I use off this week. But we have give us your take. You asked for it. Tell us what somebody asked you for.
Okay, so my buddy is taking his mom to the sports book this Saturday. And he's going to teach her how to gamble on sports. And so he wanted me to look at a few of the noon games and come up with a few winners so that he can, just some easy bets for her to place and kind of teach her the process of doing it. So we're going to go over the noon games here with some options to go with. And we're calling this You Asked For It. And so my number one bet for the noon games on Saturday is the Iowa Hawkeyes -2.5. I really, really like that bet. But let's say you don't want to put your mom through the subjective torture that is watching Iowa football. Look, I get that. I understand. Right? Love our moms. We don't want to do that. We want to see points, right? We don't want to see punts. Points over punts. All right. Well, where are we going to get our points? We're going to get it with Army -26.5. The Black Knights have been steamrolling people, and I believe the team they're playing, UAB, lost by 61 points last week to Tulane. So, yeah, they're not very good. So give me Army just to run all over them at -26.5.
Love it.
No, those are the easy bets for Mom, okay? For those degenerates out there, those of you who love your parlay teasers, I do have a 3-leg parlay teaser for you for the noon games. We're going to take that Iowa game. We're going to get Iowa +3.5. That's excellent right there.
Okay.
We're going to take Army, and we're going to get that down to 20.5, which gets us under that 3 touchdown, which is excellent. And the third game we're putting on there is Ball State -6.5 at Kent State. So all Ball State has to do is beat the worst team in the damn country, and I think they should be able to do that.
All right. If you were watching on YouTube, you saw it. It's all there on the bottom. You could see those picks. We're going to try one more thing live. We're not going to do the Hoosier Hotstreak. We're giving you a week off. And so next week, we're going to come back and you got to do 4 teams. But just for fun, if we were doing it this week, and I know Indiana obviously isn't one of those teams, if you have to put together a 4-team parlay for this week using only Big Ten games, what would you do? And talk slowly because I'll type it out for those on YouTube.
Well, I've got to put up in my head what the games were again because I don't have them in front of me right now. So let me think real quick.
You had Northwest, and maybe just money line for this one. Let's just do straight money lines. You have, there's point. You did well with the points last time. We got to get you a second phone. You're trying to do this too much with one phone. You need 2 phones, my friend.
I have a second phone, but it's my work phone, so I don't put any gambling stuff on there. So
you can have the action.
I'll figure something out. So, anyways, okay, let's take we'll take Maryland on the money line.
Okay.
We will take Illinois on the money line. That's easy. We will take Iowa on the money line. And then we're going to take... you
want to do Oregon plus the points on that one? Do you like that enough, or do you like...
10.5.
Oh, sorry, you cut out again.
Oregon plus 10.5. Get him an extra touchdown on an alternate spread.
Oregon plus 10.5?
Yep. Get an alternate spread in there.
All right, let me put that up for everybody who is on. There you go. Look at it. Make sure it's right.
I can't imagine the odds are going to be great on that.
Maryland money line, Illinois money line, Iowa money line, and then get the extra points and go Oregon plus 10.5.
Yeah, I'll bet that, and I'll put that on X for everybody.
Okay, I will bet that too. It's not going to count for your streak, but when we come back next week, we're doing Hoosier Hotstreak. We're going for 4. and Indiana is going for 7-0 against Nebraska. We'll say that, yes, Nebraska, the game is sold out. The file that I have still shows 121 tickets left, but that's basically a sellout. It's just a bunch of random singles left. Washington still has 6,200 seats available. So let's start buying some tickets, folks. Like, that needs to get sold out. Michigan has 2,300 tickets available, and Purdue has 5,300 tickets available. All of those should be sellouts. Really,
There's no excuse for the bucket game to not be a sellout. That, to me, is just a no-brainer right there.
Agreed. And same with Washington. Washington it's a key game. Like, that's a big game to try and rack up some wins and give you a shot at a good bowl or possibly the college football playoff. I will end with this, James. I finally broke the seal and did it. I can't believe I did. I went and looked at the dates of when the college football playoff games are. I know. It's great. Oh, no, it's fun. It's good to have fun in life, because my wife and I and the family were taking a trip with the boys. We're actually going to Vegas for a night to see David Copperfield, and then we're going to Utah to go to a bunch of national parks in Utah and just kind of enjoy time out there. But we're going to be gone, was it December 28th to January 3rd? And I was like, damn, I didn't think, like, I used to actually kind of, after the Gator Bowl, I try to block off some time in the winter, hoping there'd be a bowl game. First, I'm like, I'm not going to do it. And now we're going to do it. Anyway, the first round of the college football playoff is the weekend before, like the December 20th range. So I could go to that game, although it's going to be on campus. I will miss the quarterfinal game, and then I could make the semifinal or final game. I don't think Indiana is going to make it that far, but if we're able to host one of the first games, I could be.
We'll sell it out.
God, I would hope so. So we're probably going somewhere for that. We're probably going to like Alabama or something, like just rough action.
Not if we beat Ohio State, it won't.
We beat Ohio State. We may just be getting a bye. I mean, honestly,
at that point.
I mean, if you're undefeated going, if you run the table, you're going to get a bye, right?
Hey, I'm all for your fever dreams, Scott. I'm completely bought in. I've drank the Kool-Aid. This is completely different. People who work in like offices and like real jobs, like people in education, like Galen, people who are real jobs, where they come face to face with competent and incompetent people, can recognize in a second who can get shit done and who can't, right? Yeah. And Curt Cignetti is the kind of guy who gets shit done because it's processes, not people. And that's the beauty of it. He's got a system. He's got a process. Now, he's got some good people too, but the process runs itself. You just plug and play. That's how Nick Saban did it. That, you get the right guys in there that are buying into the system will make everything else work. And I can't believe you can get kids to get past the last play. And that'd be the hardest thing on earth. Yeah. He's always talking about, each play is its own play. It's its own game. Like, that's tough to think, but if you can get people to buy in that, like, there's no stopping you.
I agree. And speaking of getting things done, if you're watching on YouTube, I spent like an hour, maybe not, maybe like 20 minutes this afternoon making this logo right up here. Thanks to AI for the bison with it, and I completely forgot to put it up. So, guys who can't get stuff done, I'm not in this Cignetti camp yet. Trying to get there. We'll be doing another week. Next week, we'll bring back the Hoosier Hotstreak. James, as always, thank you for joining, my friend.
Take care, everybody. Good luck betting.
Yes, for everybody else out there, enjoy the week off. Get ready to go nuts in Memorial Stadium against Nebraska next week. And as always, I appreciate you listening. And for James, this is Scott for CrimsonCASH signing off.
Post time!
All right. Say goodbye to YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.